So, what's up, man? That's good.
Yeah, I'm
What's
recording.
Good, Papa Bear? What's good, Papa Bear?
What's good, Big Daddy?
A little soft. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Looks a little different, guys. I mean, if you're watching us, I guess you could be on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Have you noticed the thing that happens on Apple Podcasts and Spotify?
I've listened to the pod. Only on Spotify. I've never listened on Apple.
Well, actually, I guess no one would notice, but I publish them, and they take forever to actually get on each platform, and they take their time. Why is that?
Do you set it for like a time to where it publishes?
Yeah. Well, if I upload it, because a lot of times I'll just say like immediately publish.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm being a good editor, I will, what's the thing called? I will just like schedule it, and it's not a problem then. Or is it? I'll need to try that again. I was a lot better last season. The first half, the second half, not so much, but yeah. So, people might not know, but we might sound more familiar to the first season just because this was our setup most of the time, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah,
and we had these headphones, and we talked a lot better.
And now we sound. Yeah, I feel like I sound a lot better, and I'm slowly enunciating, and I get to hear my voice. And
exactly. That's the whole reason why.
Yeah, but I think I was telling you before. I think it's good to talk without them. Like, so, because I feel like I don't want to say these are training wheels. Yeah. But like the mic that we have, or that's in the other location that we record in, I think that one teaches you like in the actual like real conversational setting, like how to interact with people. So it's because I noticed that on other podcasts where they don't use these mics, like they talk over each other. I'm not saying we do that, but it's just a wild chaos podcast. And
like that Andrew Scholes one.
Yes, that's what I was listening. He had Vivek Ramaswamy on there?
I didn't see that one.
Dude,
I heard it was good.
It was good, but like Vivek would talk, and all of a sudden, like 3-4 guys were just coming at once. It's like, dude, like let him talk, man. Like,
yeah, no. I'm actually like, if we were in the other setup as we've been recording before, I probably would have interrupted you there. I was already ready to interrupt you, but this puts me aware. So there you go. If you start a podcast, I recommend these training wheels and this. Hear your voice. I hate hearing my voice, but as I'm hearing it, I'm improving it. So there you go.
Yeah, I hate hearing my voice too, but it's kind of pleasant too at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, it's not too bad.
All right.
Let me silence my phone because I feel like...
Silencio.
Because I feel like people are going to sleep. Usually around this time, like 1 p.m., this is 1 p.m., people will start sending me shit. Actually, probably I should put it away from the device. Yeah. So how have you been, man?
I've been good. Yeah, it's like I was talking with one of my classmates yesterday. We had a cool interaction, but we came to agreement on how, like, not every day is going to be your best, and it's going to be like that throughout the week, right? Yeah. You're going to have days that are up, and then some days are not so up, and you're going to be like, man, I want to be up all the time. But we've talked about you can't be exponentially all the time confident, and but it's been good. I mean, wrapping up week 4, I was telling your wife we got midterms next week, so I might step out, might go downtown and celebrate with a couple friends. And, I was talking with your wife. One of the big things that I was teasing probably the last episode was, and if you follow our Instagram stories, you might have seen me with my
what the hell, man?
So I got my booster shots, and I got.
All right, you're canceled from this show.
I got my COVID booster shots, and I got hepatitis B. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly, I wouldn't have cared.
Okay, so I brought my bag in here.
Okay.
I want Sam to see. So.
Oh, did you get a panel then?
Kind of, yes and no. But Sam's looking at it, and it basically says my testosterone level. The reason I did it because my brother got it. He got it done. I was like, man, I'm kind of curious too. I'm about to turn 34. Let me see what my testosterone levels say, right? And yeah, like, so from my age, like according to the doctor, he said that I'm low. And so I would qualify, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's TRT. TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. So it means I could be getting injections for every week for like testosterone therapy, right? And I was like, oh, it's cool. I mean, it's cool that I qualify for it and all that stuff. But it's one of the this is one topic I've been dying to talk about like a week, or not a week. I'm sorry, a year. Like when we started this podcast, and kind of relates with like the vaccines and stuff, but in a way, it's an opinion. It's kind of basically the same thing, right? Just because TRT, and then what's now famous with losing weight is it's GLP-1, or it's the Wegovy, or what's the famous one where it's like they're saying actors are taking it and it's making them lose a bunch of weight, and like,
yeah.
I don't know if you know what it's Wegovy. There's a lot of them on the market now. It's Wegovy. It's bothering me because I don't know the main one now. But it's a GLP-1, and basically it's an appetite suppressant, and it's basically a hormone where you inject it to your stomach or wherever you choose to. And basically just you have no appetite. And so that's why a lot of people do like lose weight. But one of the things I basically want to touch on is just because something that's in the mainstream now, because I was talking about someone at the gym about this, is we used to not have a TRT clinic in Santa Maria. It was in Santa Barbara. You had to go down to Santa Barbara to get your TRT clinics, get that checked out, get your levels checked out, and then see if you qualify. But we have one in town. It's a free checkup. You see if
you're talking about Slow.
No, Santa Maria. Santa Maria has one. Slow does have one too. But yeah, so I got that done. And one thing is, just because TRT and these GLP-1 are a trend right now, I still don't feel comfortable like jumping all on board and saying it's positive for us. I know so many people, like me and Sam recently just went back to the gym, or he went to the gym, and probably like 2 days ago with me. There's so many people in the gym that are on TRT. And I'm not saying it's not a bad thing either.
How do you know?
What's that?
How do you know? Did people telling you?
Oh yeah, people told me about the clinic. They're like, "Oh, dude, go check it out. Like, get your blood pounds and see what your levels are at, and then you could qualify."
There are people in the gym, but this is like this gym, not like,
the one that we went to. I
was going to say like college students are doing that.
I wouldn't doubt that either, though.
Yeah?
But it's they're
so young though.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, I think, just because these things are trending means that I feel like we should do our own research on them too, because I think in the media they say that there's no side effects to GLP-1, which is like the Wegovy, or it's gonna bother me what the main one is, but it's basically allowing you to like have no appetite. But I always feel like there's downsides to this, and I think that people don't think about the outcomes of it. And I feel doing TRT and the GLP-1 shots, it's almost like a lazy version of like a fix-it pill. Like, I want to fix this because like, I'm feeling crappy. Like, let me just get on TRT, or, I'm not losing weight. Let me just get on GLP-1. And then I feel like it's such a lazy version of not being accountable of your life. Like, one, why can't you just check if you're getting good sleep? Are you getting crappy sleep, good sleep? How's your diet doing? And like, this could be all the things that can help you feel better. But instead we choose to, let me go get tested for TRT, or let me do the GLP-1s. And I feel like it's a quick fix, one pill or a quote unquote one pill to fix everything. And that's why I told one of the people at the gym is I feel it's just like a lazy version of being accountable ourselves, because I feel like we always want to just have the shortcut to like, we don't want to struggle anymore. I feel like now as a society, right?
Yeah.
We always like want to.
Yeah. Do you know much about like testosterone like behavior, your levels, like, because you fast a lot. I mean, or I don't know if you're
not
still
as
fasting.
much anymore like I used to.
Yeah.
I still do fast, but I can say like maybe I don't know if like you're talking about like the reason why my levels are low is
I'm surprised that it's low, because doesn't most people that do fast usually have like a pretty regulated testosterone level?
I don't know, and I could be because of my work schedule and my sleep. But the thing is, the doctor was saying my which is the second one where it says the estradiol. That's basically estrogen. My estrogen's low, and he said it's fine. Like that's good to keep you where you're at right there. But yeah, I mean, even I was talking to your wife about it before we jumped on, because you were on the phone with a coworker. Mm-hmm. But she was like, "Man, that's kind of crazy because you're this like bodybuilder guy." My brother has I think he has a 459 or a 489, and he's 6 years older than me. And so, But
should have done leg day on that day.
I know. We were talking about it. I'm not gonna lie though, because when I did get those tests done, it did kind of bum me out. I was like, damn, did I hit my like genetic ceiling as far as like working out? And it makes me feel like, well, should I even try hard anymore? Like if I'm not gonna if I'm not gonna get any more quote unquote gains.
I do think it might be diet related. I feel like maybe.
Yeah, but I feel like my diet's on point though.
Really?
Yeah. So it could be just one of those things where it just comes with aging, or just the fact that with stress in life. But it did kind of bum me out, because I was like, damn, because we talked about, as a man, we base a lot of things on, at least I was talking to the guy at the gym, he was like, we base on like our physical stature, our testosterone, the way we look. And like you said before, if we find ourselves not looking attractive to the opposite sex, then we might fucking die or perish, alone. Yeah. And so I feel like for me, it does bum me out, but at the same time I was like, damn, like, okay, let's see how much we can push this, and see like how much we could push our body now that we know like our natural limit.
Yeah, I want to say, don't quote me on this, because I feel like I'm mixing certain research. But I follow Paul Saladino. I'm not saying that he's like the Bible for everything on health, but I do think he brought up some researches on certain clothing and things that are oil based, and they could interrupt a lot of I want to say they could disrupt a lot of your testosterone levels, maybe. So like oil-based stuff, so like nylon, what are they, polyester, and things like that. And I know that a lot of gym clothes. I again, this is I'm reaching out a little too far, but I mean, it could be things like that. I wonder if, because a lot of gym clothes have polyester from or nylon-based stuff, like to keep you cool. They use like a lot of like even women when they're with their yoga pants and stuff, like all of that. Like I know it affects women more. I think that study. I'm pretty sure that study did happen, where a lot of women with buying what are those pants that they typically buy from? Well, the omega sign was
Lululemon.
Yeah, like a lot of a lot of women that go in the gym use a lot of that brand, and I believe all of that is like full of bad things for the reproductive organs, and it's like really tight, especially in that area,
like around the uterus.
Yeah, and they actually have even more content there, because they probably sweat more down there, and it regulates that so it doesn't bleed out into their outside. So I know that stuff could affect women, but I'm mixing a lot of stuff. So maybe I should do a lot of research. I keep promising a lot of stuff like this in the podcast, so I probably should minimize that. But it would be nice. It'd be cool if we could do a little bit of research on that, and next week bring it up. Like, okay, what did you find?
Yeah.
Regarding that, so maybe like a little, let's put a pin on that particular subject. But you're going to be on a journey and trying to figure out how to do that. So I'd like to hear more about how you're going to bring yourself up. Bring
myself up, or what do I do from here? But
yeah.
Another one thing, because I told Sam right at the podcast like last week, I'm like, dude, I totally forgot I got bullied, and I was like, oh my god, I can't, because I was like, oh, I got bullied like 1 or 2 times on my hand, or like one on like the things I can count on my hand, right?
Yeah.
But one of the main reasons why I got this done was because one of the people for the gym, he went to the army, I think it was Army in Germany. And I would seen some of his posts on Instagram, and he was saying like, oh, I'm on Accutane, because one of the things I want to talk about is like our insecurities. And we'll talk about it later, but one of my insecurities is like my skin, because growing up I have really bad acne. Now it's kind of calmed down a little bit, but I still get it from time to time. And I texted him, on Instagram, I was like, hey, like, what are you taking? Are you on Accutane? Blah, blah, blah. He comes back to the States. He tells me like, dude, like Accutane's so bad for your acne, or for you as a body in general, because it's so terrible for you. It's severe adverse effects. Like mood changes, dried cracked lips, bad on your spine.
I have dried lips.
Yeah, but you don't have acne. But he told me, he's like, dude, I hopped on TRT and all my acne went away. I was like, dude, I advise you to do the same. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man, like I did it and all my acne went. I'm telling you, you should go get your testosterone checked out. And he told me this like 2 years ago, and I'm like, that's not I'm not going to do it for that.
Are you considering it? I mean, it seems like you're not, but I don't know. You haven't said it.
Because I also talked with another person from the gym, and he told me, like, dude, I hopped on testosterone. That thing broke me out really bad.
Oh, I see.
And I was like, okay, like there has to be something to it. Like I'm not doing it, one, to like clear up my acne, or two, to get my testosterone level up, because I don't care to do that, because a lot of people are just like, dude, you should do it because like you look sick now. Could you imagine if you were to jump on some stuff? A lot of people, like, if a lot of people who aren't familiar with the gym talk, like gear is like short for steroids, you know? So people are just like, oh, if you jump on gear or like TRT, like you look insane.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, it's cool, but it's like I did enough like naturally, and I don't feel the need to do more, because what I once thought of one of my goals was to be professionally bodybuilding, right? But as soon as I got closer to goal, I'm like, oh, you got to get onto gear. Like, you know, we talk about peeling back the curtains. So that was one of the things that peeled back the curtains to me was, oh, like you have to be on gear to be quote unquote successful in that area, right? So that's the main reason why I checked it out. And I have no aspirations of doing TRT right now, at least. It just doesn't interest me. And then I took so many pictures, and I'll show Sam later, but they make you sign a waiver form, and there's like 2 pages, and it's just like, hey, this may like increase your, I'll read some of them off for our listeners so they can probably get a glimpse into what, like,
can I see it?
Yeah, so the one's like, oh, this is my consent, blah, blah, blah. I have a deficiency. 2, oh, this is I get occasional gynecomastia, which is like you get fat underneath your boob. Gynecomastia, acne, fat loss, and increased levels of estrogen and mood swings. There's a potential side effect of extra fluid in the body. TRT may cause a drop in my LH and FSH levels. Testosterone be linked to liver inflammation and damage. I understand TRT may cause changes to my cholesterol levels. I am aware that prostate enlargement may occur. There's so oh wait, I'll let me see. So there's 3 of them if you want to swipe to the left. But it's just I understand the adverse causes that made it happen, and it just, to me, I rather do it naturally, because there are things in my life that I want to continue to see and do. Is I want to have kids, and I don't know if you know this, but like if you're on TRT, the less likely chances of producing a child is when you're on TRT, because it's not.
Do your sperm count go down or something?
No, it's because you're receiving testosterone exogenously, which means it's from an outside source. So that's the ejection. Endogenously means it's the testosterone inside your body is no longer. It's a signal to your brain like, oh, this guy's not getting testosterone anymore. Let's cease production, and like, but they give you a shot.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, they're so like they'll
increasing testosterone but reducing your reproductive.
Yeah, so they give you the exogenous testosterone. They give you pills for estrogen, and they give you a HCG shot, which is a human chorionic gonadotropin, which signals to your body to still produce a little bit of testosterone, but just enough to yeah. So it's definitely a process, but for me, I seen that. I mean, it wasn't even the waiver, but I knew there was adverse side effects, and I feel there's so many people in the gym that just totally regard it just for like the short term feeling. You know, we always talk about like, oh, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for the short term? Are you doing it for the likes? And I feel this definitely shortens like your lifespan, but also things that people don't talk about. Like we talked about the GLP-1, which is a peptide. Peptides, if you have a cancer cell or like you have known cancer in your body, it's basically going to cause that cell to basically speed up. Like that's what peptides are. So I don't want to say peptides, that's the main thing, but there are certain peptides. There's called BPC-157. That's a peptide that helps you repair like maybe damaged muscle. And I've heard my friend from another gym tell me like, dude, it's amazing, but the downside is like peptides is also going to bring your whatever cancer cells or like tumors, it's going to make it grow.
Gosh.
So there's so many downsides. So that's why it just doesn't entice me to do it. I feel like I feel, and me and my brother is like, do you want to do it? I'm like, no, like I feel great. It's like, so.
Well, I'm under the impression, and I guess this is more my MO, like, and this is, like you have it in you to fix yourself, like which is why one of the reasons why, like, people like Paul Saladino, like, I'm attracted to that kind of that kind of outlook that those people have, which is like they believe that health can be integrated in your lifestyle. And so there's got to be something in your lifestyle that could benefit from, like, it doesn't even have to be just food. It could be probably your environment as well. Like one thing is like sun exposure, right? And I mean you're a guy that your sleep could improve, right? That's a part of your life that you could improve, that could regulate your health. And I don't know if that's directly, I don't know if there's any correlation between testosterone level and sleep quality.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an area that you can do. I'm not saying that you should do this, although I am telling you that you should try that. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not prescribing you something.
For sure.
Yeah.
You're basically saying like what I'm saying. It's just there's so many aspects in your life that you can check off, right? Like and that's why I like how you see that way too, right? But I feel, I'm not saying society or like the businesses are trying to capitalize on these type of people, but it's like TRT and the semaglutide, the GLP-1. It's almost, they see a business and like, oh crap, like let's capitalize on that. So the guy he opened one in Santa Maria, now he's opened one in New York. But I feel, just because it's working for people, I always tell people, just be skeptical of it first. Like, don't jump right into it right away. You know, that's how I am.
Yeah, no, so. I agree. Like, I'm not totally against it. So this is perhaps could help alleviate that image that people think that I'm like an anti-vaxxer, right? So the whole thing about anti-vaxxing, or because I don't consider myself that, but I'm against the whole state regulation on it. I don't think we should get rid of them because they could be super beneficial to us. And just, it's a piece of tech that we've come up with. And it's not perfect, but, and this is just beyond just vaccines, just medicine in general, right? And supplements and everything like that. So I could see this being beneficial to a whole group of people. And it could be beneficial to us. But there's a time and a place, and not everything is necessary, but we could benefit from some of it. So that's where I think, like, I could see this sort of therapy become, like, I mean, it doesn't matter if I put examples, but like I could see it. I could see this being very beneficial.
I think you hit it right on the head, though. Like, it's cool to have it there, but I feel people use it as not a crutch, but like, again, some people put it as a reason to like, oh, I gotta jump on testosterone. This is why I wasn't building muscle. This is why I have crappy sleep this all the time. It's like, no, like maybe it could be, but did you check your sleep? Like, are you getting good sleep at all? How's your diet been? Like, they automatically assume like, oh, I have low testosterone. Like, yeah, this is why I wasn't like feeling good, or this is why like my gym workouts have been so crappy. And it's almost like a scapegoat or an easy way to just, all right, I'm just gonna jump on TRT because I know and I've always told people that, and I could go deep onto it, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and maybe you would want to get it checked out eventually one day, but I think it's cool that we have it in Santa Maria, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about it being readily available like that.
Right.
It's a weird,
and how they market it, right?
Yeah, like how easy it was. Like, oh yeah, you're eligible now. I'm like, oh, it's like, because I can run through it, but each therapy is $75, and they want you to go back every week.
There's okay, yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but
no, I get it.
Yeah, but that's that. How's your week been?
It's big. Whoa, don't switch it up. There's one thing I want to ask you.
No. I'm just kidding. What's up?
Okay, so one, keep us updated on that, because actually I'm super intrigued of what you're gonna come up. What you're gonna do? What's your game plan? And
whoa, Pat gained 50 pounds. Oh my god. It's Turbo Tam. No, I'm just kidding.
I saw something in that paper that I have a question on. What does the M stand for?
Oh God, it's super Filipino.
You don't have to.
I don't care. Like,
so what I saw there was not Patrick Lacky Lack, but Patrick M Lacky Lack.
Well, I'm not like.
I'm like.
I'm not scared to like, but it's, you know how traditional people they'll make they'll choose a middle name, right?
Like Marie or something.
Yeah, my I don't know. I have no special story behind it, but it's basically just my mom's maiden name. Mm-hmm. So I think it's I'll say in like Tagalog, but it's Maarat, like it's Maarat, like Maarat, Maarat. Yeah, so there's no special thing about it, but that's my middle name.
Do you know where your mom's like? Where is she from the Philippines?
I've been there too.
What island?
I went when I was like 14, so I would have to like. I think it's like the island of like Leyte, which is like it's Leyte. Yeah.
Is there like a province there or like a?
Yeah.
What, do you know which one?
I would have to go back, but I want to say I didn't enjoy my time there, but I don't know if you like go to Mexico or like where you're from, but. I was there for a week. I'm like, oh, this is cool, but then you're so used to the conveniences of US. Like, long story short,
when I was a kid, that happened a lot. When I would go, like, I kind of missed my stuff. But as you grow older, when was the last time you went to the Philippines?
14. So that was 2003, 4.
Yeah. Well, when I truly fell in love with Mexico was when I stayed there by myself. And for a year, it was just like.
See, but that's when you're an adult now, right? Or
a young transitioning adult? Into an adult. Yeah, like 18. So it's like the youngest adult you could be. So I guess technically still teenager. Yeah. In my last few years as a teenager. Yeah. So that was awesome. And every time I go, like I still not try to relive, but. Integrate my age into that environment and like what does it feel? And a lot of people that I take there tell me like, dude, you're in your element, you know, like this is where you belong. And so it makes my wife nervous every time we go because like she could tell that I'm like super happy when I'm over there and like I become not a different person, but like I do feel more full there.
But right now, this is Samuel and his natural element. That's what I just think of.
Well, like the Family Guy episode, like where what was it like the fire truck in the National Geographic or the fire truck could consume 5 times its body weight. That's funny. Okay, how do you say M? The M part?
So it's Maart. So it's ma. So it's ma. Like so it's ma. So ma. Arat.
Maarat. Oh, okay.
On the button right there. There you go, Papa Bear.
Okay, the whole Papa Bear is because it's here. You can see it here, but Big Daddy is on that mug over there.
Big Daddy. Drinking with my left hand. But wait. So I mean, I don't know if you want to tell listeners what's your middle name.
I have none.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, dang. I wish I didn't have. I mean,
really? I wish I had one.
I wish I didn't have because like I have to like explain to people like it's nothing special. Like, oh, so what's M? It's like it's nothing special. It's just my mom's maiden name. So
Patrick Ma.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Ma and then Arat. Yeah.
Arat.
It's. Yeah,
you'll be proud of it, man.
No, it's cool. No, I mean, like, it's just everyone's like, oh, so what does it stand for? It's like they're like hyping it up. I'm like, I don't mean to let you down, but it's nothing cool.
You know, it would be cool if it's just M, no, nothing else, just like, Patrick M.
What's like? What was it like? M Night Shyamalan? No,
M Night. Yeah, I don't think it means any. Wait, he came up with his last name. I think Knight. He added that. I'm pretty sure.
So what's the M stand for?
I think it's his first name, but like his parents says like. As a birthday present when he was 18, I think. Or like when he was, whatever age, he said as a birthday present, they would sign him up to add a name to his name. Mm-hmm. So they gave him the option of adding like a middle name as a gift. And then, and then that was it. And then they politically, the paperwork to... Anyway, it's an interesting gift, So Knight... He thought night was like badass. Well, it kind of is, you know.
Night, yeah, I
Kind of
guess.
is.
And morning. What if he put
And dawn.
and wood?
And
And wood like morning wood.
jeez,
I don't know why I take it there, dude. I'm so sorry.
tired.
Dude, you gotta tell us how's your week been.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Tell us how's your week been.
Good. Why am I having trouble recalling a lot of it?
You gotta get the testosterone checked out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh well, you know what? I started gardening or taking care of the home. So that's cool to get physical that way. Because I was like, I gotta do something physical that'll keep me moving. So gardening, I'm still consistent on walks. You know, I try to do 6 miles a week of walking. Try to do 2 at a time, so 3 times a week. And then I went to the gym with you again. It can relive that a little bit.
Wasn't it fun again? Like, was it? Yeah, it was so cool.
I woke up a little sore, especially shoulders, back here, and my grip was a little on the sore side. And I don't know. That's probably from the gardening though, because like I was using a hose and the whatever the thing's called.
Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday when we were at the gym. We couldn't figure it out.
Talk about it.
I remember in the gym, in the middle of the gym, and I had my headphones like I had a hoe. You were like laughing.
It's the fact because you know like when you have headphones on, you say it really like you talk really loud.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I used a hoe, and you're like, oh, what? You can't say that like out in the bow. Like,
yeah, I remember because like I think a girl had just come out from the free weights and then just coming right in front of us, or not right in front of us, but you know, like going in front of us, like I used the hoe. And just see her go like this a little bit.
I thought that too. That's why I started laughing so much.
Yeah, the thing about me, and I don't think about what I say sometimes, and like I think of them as I'm saying it, and I'm like, ah, shit, I should have said it like that. But yeah, so that was really cool. Miguel is not almost standing, but he wants to stand bad. So it's cool to see that. Yeah, I think there's not much. Oh, I started. I've been continuing watching the show Severance. Did you ever hear about that show?
You told me about it. I know they're on. It's
the third episode released
of the second season, right?
Yeah. And I've been pretty like on point, and I'm that fan that watches it the night before. Like they actually release it like even the
at 9 p.m. or something.
Yeah. So I watch
good, huh?
Yeah, I'm invested in it because I think they do. The writer Dan, what's his name? Dan Erickson or something like that.
You said that Ben Stiller direct.
Right now he's producing. He's not directing.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But the first season, I think he did like more than half of the episodes, which I thought were really cool. I do think you could tell that they're resolving. So I think it's not going to get past season 2, or if it does, it'll be like a new storyline. But so the first one was slow, but it was like interesting in every scene, and the imagery, the writing. It's so mysterious, but it's like somehow you could feel like they're connected, and they do a really great job at like the allegories and stuff like that. Like it's not trying to preach, but it is like a very interesting. It's got some interesting parallels to like real life, but they're subtle. They're so subtle, and I don't think I've looked into every one of the writers and the producers, and everyone's more left-leaning, kind of politically driven. But in their writing, I think they're having a lot of fun. That it's kind of speaking into a whole spectrum of topics that are both left and right-leaning. So I'm not trying to say that this is all political, but it's about workers who live who work in a company like a corporation that does some weird shit with them. So it's like, and then there's some background noise about policies and things like that. So it feels very, very cool. And the allegories are really like on full spectrum. And this second season is not as slow and mysterious. I think it's now trying to connect the dots. Now you could tell it feels like it's going to come to a conclusion. So I appreciate that. So but it's not the same feel. So it doesn't have the same charm as the first one. This one's a lot faster. It's got a lot of more things going on. It's it's still good, and I appreciate that it's like connecting it all.
It kind of reminds me how you were saying you watched Squid Game, right? Mm-hmm. Or Squid Games? I don't know what it's called, but first season it's kind of hard to top, right? Because it's this is so niche, or it's like so different, and then you're like, well, they have a second season. How they're not top it, but how are they going to follow it up, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, the second season of Squid Games, it's like, we've already seen how it's gonna go, like how many twists and turns and quirks can you add to it?
Yeah, I gotta say, I did like the second season, but I hated it at the same time. Like, it didn't need to have a second season. Yeah, and I do like what they were trying to do, but it didn't conclude. So they're setting it up for a third one. So I feel like. Okay, they're squeezing it out, you know?
There's rumored, have you heard, the rumored celebrities for, season 3?
No.
They're saying that, so one of them that's, circulating on the internet is that Leonardo DiCaprio might make an appearance on season 3. Really? Somehow, I don't know.
It's probably the Elite, because there's a scene where, everything's Korean, and then there's an episode in the first season where the people who sponsor it, who pretty much put the money in it, are from all over the world, and you see them. And so I'm wondering, that would kind of make sense.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about Severance, though? Because we've talked about, did we talk on the podcast where it's just like The Walking Dead? Yeah. No, not another season. How do you feel about Severance? Do you want that show to continue, or are you kind of so invested where, whatever the writers or the production team, whatever they take it, I'm with it because I'm a fan and I'm invested.
Well, I think I like it because the premise of the first season wasn't concluded. The first season, it did feel like a good first season, but you could tell that they meant it to be like a two-parter. So, and I think they set up a lot of deep questions on society, and we talked about we in this podcast we talk about struggle, and struggling and facing adversity is part of the living experience, and it's necessary for you to grow. But at the same time, we're constantly making technology to make it easier for us. And this show, so it uses that premise of okay, what if we had the technology for you to skip that adversity, or people who are suffering, what if we had the technology for you to just it's hard for you to get through your day because of all the trauma. Well, there's a procedure that you could go through that essentially splits your mind, and you don't have to relive that hard part of your life as long, for too long,
that sounds interesting.
There's a scene where, Severance, the premise is, there's a corporation that does a surgical procedure on a particular department what they do is why do they need to do that procedure? We still don't know, but it kind of makes sense that the people insert a chip that kind of activates a certain consciousness, or it splits your consciousness, or it brings forth a new personality to you. And so whenever you enter a particular area of the company, this other consciousness takes over, and it's a totally different person. And this person has no idea about what's out there, but he does his work. But he knows that he has an outside person. He doesn't know him, and the outside person knows that there's an inside person. So you have these two people living in your body. And I'm doing it poorly. I'm explaining it poorly, but basically, in order you could go to work, not have to experience work, and then when you come back, you're back again.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's the premise, and the mystery is like, what's going on in there? Like, what are they actually working on? And the people inside are like conspiring into the corporation. What are we actually working on? And the people outside don't know that the people inside might be suffering or not. And then there's this whole, like, are they people or are they not people? And is it slavery? Is it not slavery? You know, it's about like. You know how corporations do like your work-life balance? Like, oh yeah, we're a company. We could have a life still outside of the corporation. We could, you know. So like the ultimate work-life balance is the one where the outside life is your outside life and the inside is your different life. So they actually quite literally split that, you know? So, but it brings some interesting like philosophical questions on what's currently happening. And so, I don't necessarily want to talk about those themes, but I think there's like one that like blew my mind that it has correlations is like the whole pro-life, pro-choice issue that the country constantly has, and how the country split on that decision, and they're kind of tackling that kind of theme a little bit. Like it's parallel. The imagery is very similar. The language is very similar. So it's just like, dude. Do they know that they're creating? Well, I think they're just having fun and looking into these deep questions. And so there's all these like themes that you could kind of like put together in it.
Wait, so it's like one story, like, so they're continuing off of the first season, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I thought it was like kind of like is it Black Mirror? I don't know if you ever watched Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's like an anthology.
I thought it was like that, but no, it's continuing off of that. Right? Okay.
Yeah, it's not an anthology or
gotcha.
Yeah, it's a one storyline.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, anyways, I watched that yesterday, so that was
you told me about this like a year ago, and I should like I don't watch too many shows or movies, but that sounds like something I could get into.
Yeah.
I want to start watching it. So it's barely episode 3 of season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the first the first season I think only has 9 episodes.
Okay.
So
40, 50-minute episodes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those long ones.
That's not. I mean, it's because usually if that was on TV, that'd be an hour, right? Because of commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you're down to come and watch it, I don't mind watching it again. I
want to watch it.
I've seen the first season like 2 or 3 times, but obviously bringing new people in to watch it, and I like sitting because it gives me an opportunity to reevaluate. Like, do these themes still hold up? And
yeah.
So,
no, that's dude. I'm down to watch it.
Yeah. Let's have some time watching that.
Well, I want to recap it very quickly, but I came over. I remember at the end of the podcast, like, oh yeah, like my friends are gonna have some Manhattans, and we came over for poker night, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, was that after the last episode?
That was after.
So that's a thing we did.
Yeah, that was the thing that we did together, and it was really cool because, like I said, I don't do a lot of social things. Maybe it's by choice by me because I know I'm in such a mode where like I need to work. But it was good to just. No, let me submit a couple things and let me go to this.
Yeah, so you didn't go to San Jose as you said.
No, I didn't go. So yeah, my mom and brother went, and I chose to stay because I had work and I had basically homework, and I chose to come here.
Yeah,
and so it was cool, man. It was nice to see a couple friends I haven't seen.
We had a little bit of poker.
Yeah,
and then
a big old fire.
Yeah, big old fire. Yeah, just enjoyed.
Yeah,
that was cool. I kind of wanted to do that again.
Yeah,
but movie night, that's something I want to host every once in a while.
I think it's cool that you want to do these things, right? Because I think you definitely try to keep the connection with friends, and it's not just with me, right, with the podcast, but with friends that were in the groomsmen or friends that are close to you, like you invite them over. And I think it's so cool that you try to do those kind of things, to put those things on for people to have a setting to come to and still be close to people. And I think it's so good to have these kind of social interactions with people, especially with friends. And I don't know, it's just, like, again, I think it's so easy now that we're adults, or you know, we can easily not complicate our lives, but due to our circumstances and obligations in life with kids, work, school, we can easily just turn the dial off and like, okay, I'm not gonna have a social life no more. I'm just gonna be I'm not gonna have enough time to socialize them. But I like how you basically like, nope, I'm gonna try to put these things on so we can
Well,
have those
I
things.
also, for myself, I have to justify my spending. Like, I have a lot of stuff, and I gotta use them, you know. And so, the first thing I always think of is like friends or a family event, and I want to make sure that I use these things, and I know that if they're useful or not, you know. So, like for example, the Manhattans, I had the drinks, I had those cocktail glasses that I had. I was like, okay, these are nice, but am I ever gonna use them? Well, I better make a, you know.
What about the torch? Yeah, is that yours?
No, that wasn't my. I did have one. My glass dome broke. My abs gave it to me as a birthday present. First year, my first birthday present as a married couple. She gave it to me. So, but yeah, the big dome broke, so I haven't used it since. But Juan, it was his, and it was really nice. I really liked his because there's no dome. It's just this like thing that sits on top of the thing.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That was really cool.
Yeah. He had different wood chips. Like, I think he had apricot, oak. What else did he have? Apple tree. Yeah, he had all sorts. Yeah, that was cool. I have to look into that kind of stuff. Yeah,
that was a good time, man. Yeah, because it was cool because me and Sam also like talked for a little after people left, and it wasn't like, I want to say like we're not different people when we jump off of podcasts, but we do talk about things that we haven't necessarily talked on here yet. Yeah, but we actually like dissected a little more, and I was like, oh damn, like I'm not saying this year could be pivotal for both, like all of us. But I was like, oh damn, like okay, yeah, like I'm gonna graduate, Pauline. Like there are things in your life like that are kind of riding on things, right? That can kind of shift things in a way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy crap, okay, yeah, like,
yeah.
And like the music in the background, I can't stand to fly. And I was like, oh my god, why is this song playing right now? We're all talking about like, I was like, change the song, turn it off. I was
like, come on, Afro. Turn off. So it's kind of an inside joke, but basically, on our way to my bachelor party or bachelor weekend. A friend of ours like drove us. We were using his car, and he had a CD of his sister. Like his sister made like a demo album,
and she sounds pretty good.
Yeah, just to mess with him, I would always put the CD, and he hated that music. He's like, you would tell us like, turn off.
And like I didn't know that, so I asked him, hey, like, why do you want to turn it off? I was like, dude, I can't stand my sister's voice. I just can't. Like, but she's, to me, I mean, from the outside looking in, I'm like, oh, dude, she sounds amazing. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But it was funny, his reaction.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks now, this has been sitting in my mind, and it was because you had brought it up if we wanted to talk about it last week.
I know what you want to talk about. I know what you want to talk about.
Yeah, you brought it up.
No, for sure I did.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I do think it's something. Do I like to comment on these things publicly? No, but I do think. Do I want to maybe perhaps add like my perspective and maybe your perspective as well? It is kind of a hot and delicate topic for me. It's close to home, and it's something that's going around, and it's been starting around ever since we had our new president, and it's been something that's been kind of going around a lot. And you had brought it up, like you sent me a screenshot of something that was sent to the schools, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then Cal Poly as well.
Yeah. Do you want to read that, Doc, or that thing that was sent? And
it's kind of a long-winded one, but let's see.
So this is a screenshot from the Guadalupe group, right? Facebook group.
Yeah. So and then it's also it's from the Guadalupe Union School District.
Yeah. So probably Juan, who works, he probably received that firsthand too.
Yeah. But I mean, we can talk about the bullet points, but the headline is important information on student privacy and immigration enforcement. Mm-hmm. So one of the bullet points is student information will not be shared with immigration enforcement agencies without permission from the student's parents, a court order, or a legal document called a subpoena. Mm-hmm. The second bullet point is if an immigration officer asks for information about a student on their family, school staff will tell the superintendent or someone they choose. The school will also let the family know and give them the right papers. The third bullet point is immigration officers who want to talk or search a student at school must have legal warrant or court order. Parents/guardians will be told right away unless the law says they can't be. And the last bullet point is if a person or guardian is detained or deported, the school district will use emergency contact information that families have given. This is to make sure the student is safe and well cared for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we encourage the families to keep their emergency contact information up to date. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, a message like this, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool to inform students, but can I ask, like, what were you thinking when you read that and when you sent it to me?
Dude, I just pictured the worst of the worst. Like, I showing up to, like Mackenzie and, like, because I've seen videos online, but when this was I've seen videos online after that this came out, right? Mm-hmm. But I just pictured, because I mean, I pictured me when I was like in middle school, and I think of how many families that weren't, I mean, I hate the term aliens, like these illegal aliens. Yeah. But like, I know so many friends that were immigrants, right? And so I can only imagine like me being one of those friends, flashing back, imagine my friend or family getting deported, right? And I was like, damn. So it kind of hit me. I was like, well, damn, this is kind of like not fair. But at the same time, this is what happens when you elect a president that has these kind of. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I mean, technically, the citizens elected him. The majority and a lot of them were motivated on these policies, you know, and it wasn't just from one demographic; it was from all sorts. So immigration has been in everyone's mind, and I do think there was a lot of irresponsible policies within the last administration regarding immigration. You know, like there was a lot of border crossings, and it was very irregulated, and it was very. I do think so. That part's the difficult part, right? Like to me, the moral question, the moral thing that I've always kind of had difficulty with is. Does a person that live like a human being, do they have a right to immigrate for the betterment of their family and like for a better opportunity, maybe just running away from some dangerous situation? I think the answer to that is yes. Does a country have a right to keep its citizens safe from and do they have a right? It's essentially, do they have a right to deport? And the answer to that is also yes. So we have these two issues that I think and there's a whole variety in between those two like positions that you can have between those two things, right? And I do think like borders are important, especially, and the only reason why I think that is because of all the, you know, to protect humans from being trafficked, or to protect like any sort of dangerous thing that could cross through, right? And for the sake of helping those sort of situations and all sorts of like drug trafficking, I do think it's important to have border regulations because of that. But I do think one thing that I struggle with is when I hear news regarding people talking about in general of the immigrant situation and how a lot of people unfortunately a lot of people are going to suffer from this, you know, and I know personally a lot of people who have struggled in that. I mean, they come here not to essentially have a better life through an illegal means. Now, it you know, waiting in line and going through due process is not. You know, like people need immediate help, and so they want to better their families, and they don't have years and years to wait. and they don't have those right opportunities. So part of me, I criticize the environment that they're in. So they need a better, their country needs to take care of their citizens. But at the same time, like, I know the head of the family of that family needs to do something immediately to help their families, right? So I could totally see that. And so a part of me feels it sucks that they disregard those stories. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be, like, maybe if the solution is deportation, unfortunately, but I hate that there's not a lot of, well, it's not that I hate, it's just, it hurts that those situations aren't like, they're not acknowledged and are not acknowledged enough. Now, I don't want some celebrity to be crying over that shit, like
on the Emmy, like when they accept the award or something, or
like celebrities don't know shit,
Yeah, they just want to talk about it because
their whole Selena Gomez situation, like, do you know about that? About her like recording a video of herself crying, like I've tried everything, like, dude, like, shut up, you're so out of touch in this kind of stuff. So like I don't need that, but I've had, not all my family had documentations, and I have some family members that are probably in a tough situation. I am hopeful that in Trump's administration, and they're aiming at looking for those people with the highest criminal record, but they don't say that they're going to stop there, right? They're going to look for the worst situations and then kind of go down into that tier because they made a promise to the people. And so I'm not saying that the people who are, because I have friends who've been here for a really, really long time, and they've been trying to get legalized. They didn't come here by themselves; they were from parents, and they've been trying to get their
citizenship.
own citizenship, and so. And that shit takes forever. And depending on the administration too, it's weird. Like, I have friends who didn't get it, they haven't gotten it, and they've been here all their lives. And I have friends who barely came, who got it almost immediately. Damn. And they're from all over the place. There's some. I know some people from Canada. I know some people from that came from Canada, but from some other country. I know people from like Uganda or like El Salvador, and then in South America. Like, it's just weird that like some people go quicker and some people take forever, and then like they have no criminal record. And again, like it's. I don't know. It takes more nuance than just saying like we need to stop this deportation thing. Like, no, I do think we need to stop it. I do think we need to protect the borders, and I do think that not that U.S. is in their right to do that, but it is something that they promised to do before the election. Is something that as collectively as a country that decided. Yeah, some neighbors. I have 3 neighbors that have dogs, and they get to the corner over there and they start howling.
Oh my god!
Collectively,
no, you're gonna. I had to like take off my headphones. Like, what is going on? But I get what you're saying too, because part of me feels that one, my dad was on here on a work visa, and then he gained citizenship through that. And that is one thing that Trump is trying to take away as well, too, right? So he's trying to take away that, and then birthright citizenship was that
work visas. He's getting rid of work visas.
He's trying to eliminate like that, like basically that, and then also birthright citizenship.
Oh, I heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some things I was like, man,
that's interesting.
It kind of makes me feel for like, dude, like we have so many friends that became good people and great parents that were raised from that were in that boat, right? Like they were immigrants, they came over here, and then my dad was here on a work visa and eventually got us a citizenship, and then I was born, and then so it makes me feel damn like how many people are not going to get that experience. But at the same time, I get what you're talking about as far. I think a lot of people were angry as far as taking care of the citizens, right? Because I feel like there's so many citizens that have been here for so long, and they've seen that a lot of immigrants are getting taken care of. And it's like, we've been here for X amount of years, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years, and we're not being taken care of. But the Border Patrol and the border issue is not being taken care of, and we're paying taxes and all this stuff, and the people that have been here for so many years that have been paying taxes, where I think they were kind of fed up, and it was just like, dude, why are we not getting taken care of, like you're saying?
Yeah, and I hate a lot of the arguments against the whole thing about like the fear mongering kind of thing, like they're just kind of instilling fear, like that sort of stuff. Like a lot of immigrants were really like scared during the time of Obama's administration. Yeah. Like that guy deported so many, he was the deporting king, like, and like in Santa Maria, there were so many random, like the ICE would like have like, they'll detain people and, in Santa Maria, like in just some random situation, random places. And then, or they'd be tactical and put the police and randomly check people for licenses, and illegals are not allowed to have a license without documentation, and so it was just kind of a setup, and the ICE would like set up like right there next to them, and so all of that stuff was not new. Like that has not been new, and somehow that kind of stuff wasn't so much in the legacy media, like CNN and all of that stuff, and all of a sudden, when Trump's administration's here and they're doing basically the same stuff that has been happening, but now they're saying like, oh, it's like there's all these random things going on, like detainees, like that's been happening for a long time.
If I remember, did Obama serve 2 terms?
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about when, so he was, I remember it was 2008 he got inducted, or that's when he won his first, that was the...
2008? Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
So then he served 2 terms, and I'm trying to think of social media, like as far as media-wise, how we receive news and how we see it now, but I think it's more big of a deal because
of social media.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of more eyes are on social media, and so I think we've seen the face, like your wife's on this Facebook group. Yeah. I am too.
But it wasn't. But would you agree that the whole focus on the immigration situation was not? There was not headline on most legacy media.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
it's like front and center right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what to me is like that shit's been happening for a really long time.
But why is it at the forefront now? Yeah. I'm trying to figure that out too.
Yeah, so to me, it's just the whole fear mongering, and like I understand. I actually think those messages are useful. So I'm all in favor for that kind of stuff, like spreading like what are your rights, and like making sure that people don't take law into their own hands.
Isn't it kind of weird, like having that kind of like message sent to the parents? It's not meant to be fear mongering, right?
Yeah.
But in a sense, it kind of is. You're like,
especially this is the climate.
Yeah. So it's a weird time. Like I don't know if you saw that. I think Trump stopped all federal aid for DEI, which is diversity exclusion. Well, I don't know the goal is to like be diversity, inclusion, and I forgot what the
equity and inclusion.
There you go. Yeah. So
I hated that stuff.
Yeah. So probably like their department, like I guess it just basically dispersed, and like there's no department anymore for it.
I'm okay with that going away.
Yeah. But I mean, that was more like resources to like this is how you interview people, right? Did I get that wrong or no?
Well, there's a lot of philosophy behind it, and I know that it became you ever seen the documentary like Am I Racist?
No.
I think that was I think it shows like how much of a BS program that was.
I can't say much on it, but I know like I don't know.
It's a funny documentary, so if you just want to have laughs,
that's on Netflix?
think it's cool. Yeah, no, I don't know. No, okay. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I saw it in theaters with my brother, and I thought that was hilarious. So that was pretty funny. But there's like, I know that there were situations. I wish I was ready that if DEI was going to come up, like I could have these situations come up and tell you why that program is about. But like, you remember the whole environment situation with the hurricane that happened in the East Coast. So a lot of homes were skipped, were being skipped and helping them because of a DEI like training. So the training kind of influenced how they helped the people that were in need, and they couldn't just like help as they came on. They had to were motivated by finding particular types of homes,
like by demographic and all that stuff.
Yeah, so and then it just kind of made the whole situation feel like almost like a lot of discrimination was felt, and especially those they were in need.
Which is kind of like not hypocritical, but it's kind of it contradicts itself. Like it's DEI, but then you make it in the sense where you almost have to.
So so I think it caused more problems that solved anything. Like and I'm not saying the topic here is not. We're trying to say that there is no racism in the system. Honestly, I think that stuff is a bit more complicated, and I don't feel prepared in that stuff. I do have a sense for it, and I'm more leaning on this fact that it's not as big of an issue as people make it out to be. But I don't know. I need to look more into it. I'm not as ready to talk about that. But I can only know my perspective as an immigrant and that situation, and I understand that world because a lot of my friends and basically where we live at. Even though you have a similar situation where, people close to you have that, right? That problem.
Yeah.
So I could feel more not secure of myself when I speak of it, but it's close to me that I can at least give a perspective, and you can make.
Well, that's why I wanted you to say what you need to say, because I feel like I'm not saying I'm close to the situation, but obviously I live in a town where it's predominantly, I wouldn't say it's predominantly Mexicans, and I'm not saying Mexicans are the only immigrants here, but it's a good majority of it.
So if I had an advice of all of my friends and just people that listen to it that are in this situation, be prepared. Like, know your rights. Don't let people push you around. And I do fear for the kids. And so I feel like you don't have to instill that kind of fear in kids. Like
at such an early age, man. Yeah. Because again, like you said, this has been around for a minute. But I feel like at school, we never had that feeling, or like it never got close to us as kids, right? Yeah. To know like, hey, don't go walk around like at this time or blah, blah, blah.
And again, this situation is not new for this demographic.
Yeah.
So adding that fear on is like, nah, just educate them, you know? So I think they gave a lot of useful information there. It's just with the whole climate and kind of making kids be politically inclined. Like they're too early to be into that. Like I didn't know shit about politics, and just keep them away from politics,
Dude, I mean, most of the time when we were in middle school, one of the things was just going after school to like get a lab to go. Like none of that stuff was like could be on computers and play games and not have to worry about this stuff. And there's a lot of people that can help you get ready for in a particular situation. I think don't be afraid, but just be astute. Like stand your ground. Know who you can trust, who you can't. But we all just don't get the luxury of trusting everyone. Like you have to kind of learn who's your ally and who isn't, and just know your rights. Yeah, it goes back to what we've been talking about: is do your own research. Like again, you said, be prepared. Like know your rights. And I think you should be okay. Don't be fear-mongered from the media or what's going on in Facebook, what's going on Instagram. Like, oh, did you see these like big old bus that were taking parents home? It's know your rights so you can be in that situation where it does arise. You'll be prepared.
Yeah, and just to kind of let you know, like that this stuff has been happening. I had so many friends that were deported. So many.
Wait, and recently?
No, and like back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Like this is not something new. So to me, it's
I know people on the block, like the corner house where I live at, like that guy kept on. I mean, I won't say because he's a criminal thing, but he kept on getting deported.
Yeah.
So I knew of people that.
Yeah. So I do think it's going to be a lot tougher to come back. The situation is more. There's a lot more activity going on the borders. That's going to be harder to come back. I'm not saying like I get deported. It's not going to be the end. Just come back. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just know your rights when you're here. Yeah. So it is going to be tough if you get deported. Like at that point, like shit. Like no, I'm sorry, and I'll pray for you guys. But yeah, it's just the situation we're in.
For sure.
Are we running out of time? Do you have something to do?
I think we're good on time, man.
Yeah, what are we at?
I think we are good on time.
Yeah. We're this is, if we end now, it's one of our earlier shorter episodes.
Sorry, guys? You know, I'm just kidding. No. I mean, me and Sam definitely we're experimenting stuff like you discussed, and I also like to discuss too. We're trying to play around with the format, run time, so we want to see what it looks like as far as what their viewers or what they think. And
yeah. I have a question for the viewers, and I feel like most of our viewers right now are people we know. So you could text us if you want. Although we appreciate a comment here and there, but like, one of the things I wonder, like, should we keep the audio version of stuff, like the whole Spotify and stuff like that? It's just, I'm wondering, like, should we keep it or not? And this is more like a question to them, like, are you guys okay with just YouTube, or just also have the other ones? I would like to keep the audio, but at the same time, I'm looking at it, it's just extra work, and I know there's a way to hook all these channels to YouTube, but because we created them separately, there's a bit of a conflict on how to, like, who owns it? Is it there's a whole situation on that, but it would be useful to know if people wouldn't mind if it's like, is it a problem if it's on YouTube for people?
Like if it's just solely on YouTube, right? Or like, do people want the so they can pick off of like where they listened on YouTube to transfer over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts?
As long as I have like, if I could get like, I don't know, if I could get like even just 5 people to say, yeah, audio is fine. Like, okay, I'll keep the audio for you 5.
Or like they use it, right?
Yeah. Like, or if they tell me like, actually, I prefer the audio, so please keep it. It's like, okay, fine.
Okay.
But I'm down to keep it for 5 people, but I'm just wondering, like, yeah. Anyway,
sure. You want to leave anything with the listeners or anything? No. Just that.
I don't know. What about you?
No, I think we're good.
Dude, I remember. Sorry, this randomly came up.
All right, that's it, guys. I'm just kidding.
No, so before we start, this is more for you. Do you know the whole thing, like, oh, that was easy?
Okay, what is it from?
I remember now. So we used to do that in high school, like, that was easy.
I felt like in middle school too, though.
No, I remember where it was from. It was because of Juan. So I was making I remember our Mr. G's class in the film class.
Okay.
We did these, like, there was this project that they called it the guerrilla filmmaking one, and we were doing, like, everyone did like smart little skits. You did the kung fu one.
Yeah.
I did one that had to do with a reel that was rolling, and then it came to so they were all kind of connected. So like once one short film was done, another one would start, and another one would start. So they all had to be kind of connected. And mine was about, Juan had a reel that he had to get to go to. He had I don't know why he had a film reel, but it was like he had one in his hand, and so he got bumped by the previous characters from the other short film, and that thing fell. So my whole thing was like a chase film, but it's Juan chasing a film reel that was rolling and rolled all the way down to. Wait, was that it? It was a film. I'm pretty sure it was a film, and then he says, like, that was easy. Wasn't it?
I don't know. I'll have to watch it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, if you had a inkling that it was that.
I'm pretty sure it was Juan, or was it you? Like, someone recorded it for a film. I'm pretty sure
it sounds familiar. I think it is Juan, though.
Yeah, that was easy.
We'll have to find.
We'll have to ask him. Anyway, sorry.
It
probably didn't need to be recorded here on this podcast, but I just came up and before I forgot.
Well, if we do find the video, somehow Sam will link it in there or something.
Yeah, that's a stupid way to end a podcast. Sorry, I just couldn't help myself.
You're good, man. Yeah, that's it for this week, I feel like, right?
I think so.
Cool, man.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.